Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? A nighttime vlog. It is 11:08 p.m. on this absolutely beautiful early summer evening in Indianapolis. It is 75 degrees outside. It feels like it's 85. It's so warm outside. And I'm in a really good mood. Everything is coming together with our house for summer. I'm so excited. Our patio got done today. And when I got home today from vlogging and doing my review and stuff, I just was like blown away. It's just, they did such a nice job on it. It looks like when we got our whole new, so a couple years ago, we got a whole new patio. I don't know if I was vlogging then or if it was before then. I feel like it was since I was vlogging, but maybe not. But every couple years they build, well, not every couple years, like every 10 or 15 years, they build everybody in the neighborhood like a new patio if they need one, or a new deck. But you go and like, it's like 5 condos in a row. Does that make sense? They paint them too. So this is how they keep up the upkeep of the condos. I think it's every summer they paint like 5 or 10 condos in the neighborhood, and then the next summer it switches to like a different part. And then so like every 5th summer, I think we don't have that many condos in our neighborhood. I think I always say like 80 or 100, but I really think it's more like 50, if that. So then the following summer, they switch to a different neighborhood. It might be more condos than that, but I don't think it really is. And so, like every 3rd year, your condo gets a complete update. Does that make sense? So they do like major rehauls and stuff. So there's always construction in the summer. But not, I mean, it's not bad because they're only ever working on like 5 condos at a time. But they do like new decks and patios, anything that the homeowners association is responsible for. Painting, things like that. Planting trees, because they like to keep a lot of mature trees in the neighborhood. So they're constantly planting new trees to kind of keep that going. So I don't know how long ago it was, but both of my neighbors and myself got, we got new decks. So well, it would have been before my new neighbors were in, because they didn't remember that. We were talking about it out there with them. And they moved in 2 summers ago. So it would have been at least 3 summers ago when they did the work. I think it was like 3 summers ago when they did the new deck. So it must have been since I have been vlogging. But at that time, they asked us if we just wanted it sealed or if we wanted it painted and sealed, or whatever you do with it. And I was like, well, I don't know, what do you think? And the guy was like, oh, it would look really nice if it was painted. And so I was like, okay. So he, like, my neighbor Laura, she's been in some of my videos, she decided to keep her patio just brown wood and get it sealed. Myself, like Alex and I and our neighbors at that time, we decided to have our patio decks painted. So they painted it like this grayish blue, because we were told that it would look really, really nice, which it did. But I didn't even think about all of that, like, I don't know why, but I didn't even think about the paint chipping off and whatever. So the first year, it really wasn't that bad. The guy that was doing our deck today, who is the husband of somebody that Alex knows, said that like every winter he has to, or like after every winter he has to repaint his deck, because there's spaces where, you know, like the paint has chipped up when you power wash it or whatever. But I don't remember it being that bad the last 2 years. This year though, I could already see the paint coming up before they power washed it today. But anyway, they got out there this morning at like 9 o'clock, power washed it, sealed it, painted it. They put I thought they had put the door up that Alex bought, but apparently because they had a saw out there and everything, I didn't know that. They apparently built a brand new door for our little walkway there. So we have like a door with like a hinge, you know, spring hinge on it and everything. And very, very cool. Very nice. They did a fantastic job. The door is not painted yet because something about what they did with the door, like they sealed it or something. It has to, they said we'll be able to paint it in like a month. I don't know why, but that's what they said in the message. So anyway, we got all of that done. The back patio is completely done. They said that by tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon, it would be okay to put up furniture. So Thursday, I will probably go and buy a bunch of plants. I'm so excited. So the back patio, I'm gonna be putting all my plants out there on Thursday. I think I'm gonna go to Walmart this time first and see what they still have as far as plants. I was at the garden center, well, I wasn't at the garden center, but I was like parked outside the garden center today before my review video, and there were tons and tons of plants still there. So I'm thinking that, I mean, they still have to have all kinds of plants. I'm thinking about going there first and buying plants because I just wanted like tons of plants in the back patio. I do need to get a hose though, because we have a hose for the front, but we don't have a hose for the back. So I need to get a hose. I just want to get one of those, like, you know, those shrink hoses for the back patio so that we can water all of our plants and stuff. And then we've already got the furniture for out there and everything is ready to be set. Then Tanya Jean texted me tonight. Oh my God, I was so excited because I had asked her, her son does like landscaping stuff sometimes on the side. He does like all of her landscaping for the kennel and whatever, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I had asked her, I said, do you think that he would want to do the landscaping for, like, not the lands, I mean, not like it's heavy duty landscaping, but just like the mulching and whatever. And she was like, I don't know. She was like, he doesn't really like to do a whole lot on his days off because he's working so much right now. She said, but I could ask him. And, so she texted me tonight and said that he would love to come out there and do the walk, and then he could do it on Friday. So he's coming out on Friday. Tanya's son's gonna do the walkway for us. And let me just tell you, well, I'm very, you know, obviously I speak very well of him because he's like my nephew. He calls me Uncle Peter, because he was raised around me. I think he's 28, so he was 4 when I met him. And he is so proficient in everything that he does. Like, he's just so professional that he's gonna make the walk look unbelievable, and the back too, but the back isn't much work. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I don't really think it'll take him that long. I'm gonna go with him to buy the mulch and whatever else he needs to do it, like to spray it and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. So he's coming on Friday, and so our walkway and our deck and everything will be done by this weekend. So I'm excited. And then I was talking to Alex tonight. He's got a bunch of stuff he has to do this weekend associated with the race, like work stuff. But he, on Sunday, was going to go to his friend's house because she was having, this was the friend that, one of the friends that we went on to Florida with, and she was having people over for like a barbecue to watch the race on Sunday. And so he was like, you're going to come with me, right? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, and I hadn't told him about Caroline yet. And he said, so I told him, I said, well, that's why I was asking what we were doing on Sunday, because Caroline's having a barbecue. And he goes, well, I'll just do that instead. He said, because my mom was gonna come with us, and she would have more fun over at Caroline's house. So Alex's mom is gonna come with us, and we're gonna go over to Caroline's house on Sunday. So I'm real excited about that, and it's gonna be just like a little family thing. I gotta take a dessert. Caroline's like, well, do you want to go to Taylor's Bakery and get a dessert? I was like, I can. I said, Caroline, the thing with the dessert stuff is nobody ever eats a dessert. And she's like, yes, I will. I'll eat some. She's like, they'll have real fun, like, race day stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I can get a dessert. I mean, it's not about, I don't mind getting the dessert. It's that, like, nobody wants to eat anything when I get it. She's like, well, they might have fun little cupcakes or something. So I'm actually thinking about maybe not going to Taylor's Bakery and instead going to, there's like all these different cupcake stores in Indiana. I may instead order like a couple of fancy cupcakes. There's like construction going on the other side of the street, and it's like they have all of these flashing lights, which is a lot. So I'm really excited that, oh, look at all this construction. I'm really, really excited about the patio. I'm really excited about, because now I can put all the plants out there. I'm really excited about the walkway getting done. And, yeah. I'm also really excited that it's gonna be Tanya's son that's doing it, because, like I said, he is, so good at that stuff, and he like really enjoys it too. But at the same time, I mean, we were getting quoted large amounts of money. I would rather pay somebody that I care about, that really wants to do it, rather than somebody that couldn't be bothered. Like, let me say this, so I didn't know who to get a hold of. So the person, I don't think I said it on here, the company that I called the last time was the lawn care company that our homeowners association uses. They use them for every one of their neighborhoods. So I could not find anybody to do our walkway. And I heard somebody, I was sitting out there, was this yesterday? I told Valerie this. I was sitting out there and somebody walked by, and I heard the wife say something about, somebody should call the HOA or something like that. And it's not just me, it's my neighbors too. I mean, it looks atrocious. It needs to be done. I'm also not at this point, I mean, I didn't want to do it anyway, but like at this point, if my back wasn't hurting, I would have done it, because it just needs to be done. But I'm not willing to risk being down there on my knees and hurt my back over waiting to get it done. So I had called the management company. So there's an HOA and then there's a management company. And the HOA hires the management company, right? So I had called the management company and talked to the woman that's like the CEO there. It's a real small management company. She's real nice. And I said, and she knows my cousin and stuff. So I said, hey, listen, I said, I'm struggling finding anybody to come out here and just do our walk. And I explained the situation and whatever. I said, we want somebody to come out like, you know, once a month. Now, I can tell you, like, Tanya's son isn't going to want to come out like probably twice this summer and do it. But hopefully by that point, I'll have found somebody else. So she was like, okay. And I said, I was going to call the lawn care people, because the people that do our lawn, like, they cut our lawn like once a week or every other week. I also see them mulching. It's a big company. I also noticed that they're like mulching like other people in the neighborhood and weeding and stuff like that. So I said, do you know if they do that as well? And she was like, oh yeah, they do like weeding and mulching and all that kind of stuff for people in the neighborhood, because there's like a lot of older people in our neighborhood. And I said, okay, so I can call them. She's like, yeah, absolutely. That's something that they'll do, you know, whatever. I said, okay. So I called, and when I called, the woman that I got in touch with, who was very nice, she was like, I'm going to put you over to so-and-so, because this person is the one that's in charge of, who's texting me? This is the person that's in charge of doing the estimates and actually scheduling the work. And I said, okay, that's fine. So put me through, and I left a message. That was like on Wednesday, okay? Wednesday or Thursday. I didn't get a call back until the following Tuesday, late Tuesday, like 4 o'clock or something like that. I think it was, I don't remember. I didn't get the message till late Tuesday. So I didn't call at that point because it was like, by the time that I realized it, it was like almost 4:30 or whatever. I figured they're probably going home for the day. So I waited, and on Wednesday, I called and I left a message. This was a week ago tomorrow. And I left a message and I said, hey, like, this is, you know, well, first of all, what frustrated me about it was when I originally left the message, I said, my address is such and such, yada, yada. You guys do our neighborhood as far as lawn. All I need is the walkway done and a little bit of area in the back where there are like, there's like 4 to 6 feet of hostas. I just need it weeded out and mulch laid in the front. That's all I want, blah, blah, blah. So flash forward, she waits till the following week and calls me back and knew what our house was because referenced what it looked like almost as if they had driven by, she had driven by or whatever, and said, okay, this is what you're wanting and blah, 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 you want us to leave the hostas, and I'm like, yeah, I said that in my message. Like, at that point, I thought they would just come out and do an estimate because, you know, the other people that have, like, done, like, usually when people come out and do estimates on stuff, they come and they, like, when they came to do the patio, the first company that did the estimate that couldn't get us in until July, they just left the patio, like, estimate in the mailbox. Oh, no. They left the card in the mailbox. They emailed us the estimate. And so, and, like, that, the day that they came out there, and it was just, like, it was done real quick. And the thing that was interesting about that is that they're that backlogged that they couldn't get out to us until July to actually power wash and seal the patio, which I totally understand, and they were really nice about it. But they came out and did the estimate, like, that quick. So I don't understand why somebody couldn't have just driven by and, like, looked at it and been like, yeah, it's going to be $200, or yeah, it's going to be $1,000, or whatever they thought, you know? So I called her back on Wednesday, and I left a message, and I said, hey, I said, it's, you know, I was real nice, it's Peter Monn again, blah, 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 and I got your message about the estimate, so, yeah, exactly what you said is exactly what we're looking for, we just want this, blah, 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 whatever, okay? Don't hear anything. Don't hear anything Wednesday. I called early Wednesday. Didn't hear anything Wednesday. Didn't hear anything Thursday. So I think it was Friday, late, like mid-afternoon to late afternoon Friday, I hadn't heard anything, and it was 2.5 days, and we're still just trying to get an estimate. At this point, we're over a week, right? So I called back and left another message. Haven't heard anything back, and it's going to be Wednesday tomorrow. I don't know. I don't think it's professional, but whatever. So they're not going to be doing our yard anyway. And I think partly what it was they didn't really want to do it. I think it was they're probably overloaded with a bunch of jobs and they don't want to take on one smaller job. But then I don't understand why you wouldn't just call and say, hey, like, we're super busy right now. Like, you know, hey, we can't get to your house this summer. I'm really sorry. Here's a referral. You know, here's somebody that we would recommend that might be interested in doing it. Because I said that too in the voicemail. I said, if you guys can't get to it, if you have anybody that you know that might be interested in doing it, you know, please let me know. So, whatever. That has been what's going on. And there was another company that we called, that Alex called, and he was trying to get to come out there and get an estimate on. Same story. They weren't calling us back. Alex left a message, and he didn't hear back from him. Oh, look at me laying on the horn. I guess people are just, like, so busy right now with doing and I understand, like, if you're busy, but I don't think that, like, a return phone call that takes, like, literally a minute or two, I don't really understand why. Well, first of all, there might be a day when you're not busy, and you might want that person's work. So to call them back and just say, hey, I'm really sorry, we can't do the job, and we don't even know anybody that could do the job, but thank you for considering us. That's a 10-second message. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand just not returning somebody's call, especially when you called first and said, is this what you want in your estimate? I mean, I've been like, I never even gave them my email. And I'm like going through my emails and stuff. Oh my gosh, look at all that. I'm like going through my emails and stuff, trying to find if, like, they emailed me at an email address, you know, like, I didn't give them my email address. So I'm like did I miss the email? Did it go to spam? You know, I'm like looking through my phone calls to see, did I miss their phone call or whatever? And no, I didn't. So anyway, oh well, now we're getting it done by somebody much more reliable. So I'm very excited. Somebody else is texting me. Who is it? I can't see. So that was kind of my day. I went home, and when I got home, I drove around a little bit. Oh my God, you guys, I started a new series by, did I talk about this already on here? Dorinda Jones. It's the Charlie Davidson series. The first book is called The First Grave on the Right. And it's about, it reminds me a lot of her other book that I read last year, which is so funny because it's the book that got me started on cozy mysteries. I don't even know if you would consider it a cozy mystery, but it's called A Bad Day for Sunshine. So the sound, the tone of the books are very similar to that. But it's about this private investigator in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and her name is Charlie Davidson. But she's not only a private investigator, she is also the Grim Reaper. Which I actually, when I started this, I thought it was going to be so dumb. I was like, oh, this is such a stupid idea. Like, I don't, and I had a lot of people tell me, like, if you like cozy mysteries, you will really like the Charlie Davidson books. And I had been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because I was just like, I don't really know. I'm not really that excited about it, right? So I started it because I wanted to read another cozy mystery, and before I go into the last two books of the month, which I'm going to read, which the next one I'm going to read is Clara and the Sun, which is Peter's book club pick for May, and then I'm going to read the True Crime Book Club book for May, which is Ice and Bone. I can't think of the author's name now. But anyway, so those are the last two books that I'm going to read for, well, I mean, unless I get them done, like, in no time flat, but that's not going to happen. Those are going to be the last two books I read of May, or maybe going into June. I really want to finish Clara and the Sun before June 1st. So I've got the next couple of days to finish that. So anyway, I was reading, because when I get done vlogging tonight, I'm going to listen to the Charlie Davidson book. So I wanted to read a cozy mystery, and I was like, but I didn't want to just read any cozy mystery, because sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're just like, eh. I mean, I like most of them, because they're all very kind of sweet and endearing and whatever, you know, or not even, like, this isn't even sweet and endearing, really, but there's just, like, great characters that you can get attached to and all that kind of stuff, you know, good food. It's so funny because they eat Monte Cristo sandwiches in this book because her dad owns a bar. And I'm like, back in the day, I was totally obsessed with Monte Cristo sandwiches. There's this restaurant here called Sam's. It's a local restaurant. There's like several of them in Indianapolis. And we used to go there before our meetings on Tuesdays sometimes. We'd either go to El Camino. Oh, no. We would go there after the meeting because it's open late. It's open till like 11 or 12 because it has like a bar inside. We wouldn't eat in the bar, but it has a bar inside. But they had a Monte Cristo sandwich, which is like, you know, like a ham sandwich, but it's like deep fried, and then they put powdered sugar on it. It's so good. So I used to get the Monte Cristo sandwich. So when she was talking about it, because they talk a lot about food and cozy mysteries. But anyway, so I thought, well, I'll read this Charlie Davidson book because I've heard really good things about it. And then at least that way I know that I'm going to read a good cozy mystery. So I started listening to it the other night, and I am really, really into it. I think I'm almost... Well, today I was listening to it a little bit, and I was about a third of the way through. So I think I'm almost half of the way through. But it's really fantastic. and I really like her as a character. There's 13 books. There's a lot of half books. So some of these series have half books. So like 1, 1.5, 2. And the half book is like not a long book, not a long mystery, but they sometimes put them out on Kindle or whatever. It'll be like a Christmas book or something like that. So it has several of those in it. But there's 13 main books in the series. So I think I'm going to continue to listen to it, which means I have the Misfortune series I'm listening to. I have the Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich that I need to listen to book 2. I need to start getting into that book, or that series a little bit more. Because I read the book and then I didn't read any after that, you know? And my plan was I was going to finish that series this year. And then I now have the Charlie Davidson books by Dorinda Jones. And then I'm also reading the Dorinda Jones series. That the second book comes out, A Bad Day for Sunshine. She's also got another one that's about a witch. It's called Beguiled. I think I bought the first one of that. It's real short. It's like 6 hours and 30 minutes or something like that. I think I bought the first one because like the 4th book of that just came out, or 3rd book of that just came out. And then the Alison Brooks series about the librarian. I'm reading that. And I used to, as somebody that said they didn't like series, I can't believe that I'm like now reading all of these series. I was like looking over there to see if Siri popped up. And then what else as far as cozy mysteries am I reading? Well, it's not really a cozy mystery series, but shoot, and it's been like 2 years since I've even read one of the books in the series, but that is My Life as a White Trash Zombie by Diana Rowland. This person went this way and they're turning around because I think the traffic is so bad, but I think the traffic is just bad here if I remember for like 3 cars and then it stops. Yeah. So My Life as a White Trash Zombie by Diana Rowland. Actually, Mel finished that whole series and she loved it. It is so good. I like read the first 2 books and just like tore through them and then didn't read anymore. And then the midlife magical whatever, I'm reading that. I've read the first 3 books and I have the like Magical Midlife Dating is like one of the books. I can't remember them. It's about the woman that moves to take over that like that inn in the woods. They're okay. I like the characters, but like the storyline's always kind of corny. But those are quick reads. I can't remember who they're by. KF Bean, I think, or Breen. I have like I've read like the first 3, and I think I have the 4th one downloaded. But I like those. I just am like so. I really never thought that I would be somebody that I would look at these books, you know, at the. Like I used to make fun of the Debbie McComber books and stuff, which I still don't think hers are like the greatest. But I used to sit at the store and I would see these series like this, and I would just make so much fun of them. I would just be like, these are so silly. These are just what's with these, you know? These cozy mystery romantic series, and I love them now. I really, really do. You know, I was talking to my Peterisms video. Was it yesterday? It must have been yesterday because I didn't make a video on there today. The meditation was doing more of what makes you happy, and it was about making a list of 5 things you want to do before the month going ahead, and then giving them to somebody who's like an accountability partner, and then scheduling out how you're going to do those things, which I thought that part was kind of interesting. But because I just don't see myself scheduling like listening to a book, but I have done that as far as like wanting to finish a show by a certain time or whatever. But you know, when I was sitting there and I was talking about it in my video, and it really settled in later, it was like make a list of 5 things that, it was from the book of Daily Kindness or whatever by Cindy Spiegel, whatever that book is called. It said, I think it was from that one. Yeah, I'm almost positive. It was like do 5 things or plan 5 things out for the following month that make you happy. And I was sitting there, and as I was talking, you know, I gave examples like I like to sit on my front porch. I like to buy plants and have plants on my, you know, porches and inside and stuff. I like to read and listen to audiobooks. I like to watch TV shows and movies. And I can't remember what the 5th one was. But anyway, they were all a combination of those. But you know, when you think about like, if I had a summer that was filled with going to the pool, reading or listening to audiobooks, watching Netflix shows or streaming shows and movies, spending time with my friends and going to like meetings and stuff, and spending time with my husband. If I could do, if that was my entire summer, that would be an amazing summer. Like, I would be so happy. And I really do think it is about spending more time doing those. It stopped right when I was in the middle of my big profound statement. But I was gonna say, I really do think it's about spending more time doing those things that make us happy. Not just things that we love, but things that make us happy. What are things that make you happy, you know? Because sometimes for me, doing things that I love is different than doing things that make me happy. Like, I love to travel. I think we all know that, right? And I love to travel. Did I say that? I love to travel, but there's a lot of work that goes into like getting ready, which I'm not complaining. I'll do that work all day long for getting ready to travel, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into it versus me just driving around and listening to an audiobook, or, you know, going to get in a fountain pop with Tanya, or going out to eat with Alex and stuff. Like, those things are things that like make me happy in the moment. Okay, like just around the house, like having candles lit, having a scary movie on in the background while I'm like doing stuff at home, and like, you know, making the bed, having a freshly, you know, made bed. I love that. Or having the linen sprays in the bedroom, fresh towels, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Those are things that make me really happy in the moment. And those are things that don't take necessarily a lot of work to achieve happiness in that moment. You know, to light a candle, or to have, I was saying this in the video, like, you can go to Dollar Tree. I mean, their candles are $1. They have tons of candles, you know? Or just buying a plant at the grocery store for $4.99 and having it in your apartment or condo or in your patio or whatever, you know, that will make you happy. I need to pull in here and see what this text message is, but I'm like trying to figure out where to pull in. We'll pull into the Wendys. I haven't been to Wendys in forever. It's probably been since I did a review that I've been to Wendys. When I used to eat meat, oh my God, I loved Wendys. I used to go and get a Baconator all the time. Do you guys want to know my fast food orders where I go? Okay, or where I went? Well, back there I used to go, when I was in high school, my friend and I, we used to go to Wendys. I mean, God, it seemed like almost every day, but several days a week. And we would each get a double cheeseburger. I don't know how I stayed so thin. We would each get a double cheeseburger plain. Now now, before I was a vegetarian, I would get it with onions and mayonnaise. But back then, I just got a double cheeseburger plain, large fry, and a Frosty. That's what she and I would get back in the day. Then I ended up getting, like years later, I would get a Baconator with mayonnaise and onion, and then I would get a large fry. Taco Bell. God, can we? Whew, well, Taco Bell and Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake is open. Oh my God, there's a line there. Steak and Shake is such a fun place to go in the summer. So Taco Bell, Nachos Bel Grande. This is so bad. Nachos Bel Grande with no beef, replaced with beans, but and then extra sour cream, cheese, and tomatoes. And then now that they have the spicy potato soft taco, I get 2 of those. And a bean burrito sometimes, if I'm really, because they're small, depending on how hungry I am. Otherwise, I get 2 bean burritos and a large root beer. Lots of hot sauce. Steak and Shake. So when Alex and I used to go there back in the day, before I was a vegetarian, we would go there late at night after we went out. we would each get a bowl of chili with cheese. I would get cheese and onion. He would not. Oh God, their chili is so good there. And then we would each get Frisco burgers, which are basically like patty melts. They're real flat on like toast, you know, not toast, but you know, like bread. But then Thousand Island dressing on it. And then we would get fries, or I would sometimes get onion rings. I would get a root beer, he'd get a Coke. It depended. Sometimes I got a shake, but not very often, because I would be like, oh, this is enough. And then sometimes we would split chicken fingers and fries, like also. Like in addition to all of that, we would also get chicken finger and fries and split it. Oh my God. And get up and go to brunch. But I was also working out regularly back then. And I was 80 pounds thinner than I am now, eating like that. And I don't ever eat like that now. That's called metabolism. Let's see where else. McDonald's. Well, back in the day, I loved Big Macs at McDonald's. Big Macs and a large fry, an apple pie, and a root beer or Dr. Pepper from McDonald's I loved. But I don't really go to McDonald's anymore. I'll go there for a Diet Coke. I mean, it's really hard to eat vegetarian anywhere, unless they have specific things that are for vegetarians. Now, Hardee's had, okay, so like Burger King has the Impossible Whopper, but you have to ask them to make it in the microwave so that it doesn't touch other meat. They also had an Impossible croissant sandwich for breakfast, but they've taken that off the menu. So anything vegetarian they try out for a while, and then they get they take it off the menu. So they don't have that anymore. Hardee's, which is like a Carl's Jr., I think they're owned by the same, they look almost identical and their menus are very similar. I love Hardee's, but I used to go there and I would get the Frisco burger with fries. And theirs is kind of like a variation on like a Frisco burger. I don't think it has Thousand Island dressing on it. I don't remember. I think it just has mayonnaise and stuff. But I used to get a Frisco burger and fries there and whatever else. I don't remember. Interestingly enough, I will tell you, if you go to Hardee's, Hardee's has really good, well, first of all, breakfast food. I think they have the best breakfast food. And second of all, they have really, really good Mexican food there too. Oh, Chick-fil-A. So I would take Alex to work. This is when we first started dating. And on the way home, I mean, I don't know how I ate like this and I stayed thin. I really do not know. I mean, but we were working out every day, so that was part of it. But Chick-fil-A, I do like their spicy chicken sandwich. Oh, I did. I mean, God, it's so crazy to me that, will it be 3 years in August, or will it be 4 years since I've been a vegetarian? I think it'll be 3 years. I don't even know at this point. I'd have to go back and look and see. Does anybody know that's watched my vlogs how long it's been? If it's been 3 years or 4 years? I think it's gonna be 3 years in August since I've been a vegetarian. But I used to eat the spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. Then what I would do though is I would take Alex to work, and in the morning, because I worked later than him, and then on the way back, I would get 2 Chick-fil-A breakfast sandwiches, or chicken biscuits, with 2 hash browns. Their hash browns come in like a box, and I would get a Diet Dr. Pepper. I liked their Diet Dr. Pepper there better than just a regular Dr. Pepper, I don't know. So yeah, and then Hardee's, I used to always get their breakfast sandwiches. They'll do their breakfast sandwiches without meat on them, but it's just not really the same, and I always worry about cross-contamination, so I don't really do that ever. But they used to have a Beyond breakfast burger, sausage burger, or Beyond sausage breakfast sandwich, and it was so good, and they took it off the menu. I don't know why. I have no idea. Qdoba, I like never go to. Qdoba and Chipotle, I hardly ever go to. What other fast food? Arby's, I don't go to anymore. I mean, it's such a meaty place. I don't really go there since I've been a vegetarian. I mean, since I've been a vegetarian, I don't eat healthy, but I really don't go to fast food as much as I did before, because let's just say, like, I'm driving down here and there's like 10 or 15 places you can go. It literally minimizes it in half. There's like, or it takes it down to like 2 or 3 places that you can go. So it's like, there's not really any places that I can go around here, so I guess I'm not gonna get fast food, if that makes sense. White Castle has the Impossible sliders, but again, you have to ask them to make it. Like, they'll do it on a different grill, which is interesting. They do it on a side grill, but you have to ask them to do that. If that's even true that they do that, who knows? But their Impossible sliders are pretty good. And they came out around the same time as the Impossible Whopper, and they have been around for a really long time. Where else is up here? Fazoli's, I think I've been to, like... I went there one day remember I did like a review there. And then I got Alex and I some food, and it was so bad, Alex didn't even eat it. He was like, this is so gross. And I wasn't real impressed with it either. And it's actually kind of expensive. I'm trying to think of what else. Subway, I never eat Subway anymore. Alex loves Chipotle. He goes to Chipotle all the time. He had Chipotle for lunch today. I was like, what did you have for, because he came home and he ate. He's like warmed some stuff up, but I was like, well, what did you have for lunch? And he was like, I had a small burrito bowl at Chipotle. He was like, but it wasn't that big. Oh, now Einstein Bagels, I used to go to them quite a bit. I really like them. But I haven't been there. I don't know the last time that I went to Einstein Bagels. Well, by the time I get out of the house, they usually are closed, because they close at like 3 o'clock. Do you guys want to hear what is so funny? So I used to go to Einstein Bagels. Alex, when I would take him to work, I would go to Einstein Bagels and I would get him, they made these like pizzas, these breakfast pizzas on bagels, and so I would go and I would get him 2, and then I would take it back to him at work, and he loved it. He would always get so excited. But I used to go and I would get like an everything or a like a garlic or an onion bagel, depending on what they had, because when they ran out, they were out. I love bagels, first of all, and I would get it with the onion garlic or the garden vegetable, or I don't know what it was called, cream cheese on there, you know, and then I would get toasted and melted with red onion and pepper jack cheese as well on there. But then one time they were like out of all the bagels and I ended up getting it on a cranberry bagel, and there was something about the like onion, I don't know what kind of sour cream it was. It was like onion or garlic or something, but there was something about that with like the saltiness of like the onion. Do we consider that salty? You know what I'm saying? It's not sweet. The onion and the pepper jack cheese and everything that worked together with the sweetness of the cranberry bagel. It was so good that that's what I kept on getting from then on out. Like a blueberry bagel or a cranberry bagel if they had that. Which I know is silly. Panda Express, not lots of vegetarian options. Thank you, Panda Express. I don't think I've been there in forever. Long John Silver's closed down. Popeyes, never do I go to it. Let's see along here. Applebee's, haven't been there in a long time. Olive Garden, haven't been there in a long time. Denny's, haven't been there in a long time. It's been forever since I've been to Denny's. I can't even believe Denny's is still open, because there's like literally there's not one car there. There's not one car there. Okay, Taco Bell, Wendy's, Arby's. Oh, Kentucky Fried Chicken, I never go to. I used to, though. There's Fazoli's. Hooters. Einstein Brothers. That's it. And then there was like a closed down Rallies up here. I never liked Rallies. I always thought Skyline Chili I don't like either. I always felt like if you got Rallies, like your whole car smelled like it afterwards. Do you guys agree or disagree? You better agree. This Speedway is always so busy. It's crazy. Like, there's always, like, so many people there. I heard a lot of people, like, there's this fireworks place over here, Phantom Fireworks. Indiana, people go and buy, like, fireworks all the time, and they're always, like, setting them off in Indiana. And, the dogs used to hate them, but they don't really seem to notice it much anymore. But I think this weekend, people are going to be setting off fireworks, like, a lot. Especially, like, last year, because nobody did anything for Memorial Day weekend. But I think this weekend, I think it's going to be a loud weekend in Indianapolis. Red Robin, I love Red Robin. And they have some kind of Impossible or Beyond Burger that's really, really good there. I really like it. I haven't been to Red Robin in a while. I like Red Robin. I like the unlimited onion rings that they have with, like, the different sauces and stuff. Tonight, Alex, he was like, I was out, and I told him I was gonna, I said, is there anything you want? And he was like, yeah, some candy. And I was like, well, what kind of candy do you want? And he was like, I thought he would just say, you know, like, if you ask your husband or wife, like, oh, do you want something? Yeah, sure, I'll have, like, you know, a Coke. They don't say to you, I'll have, like, a case of Coke, a case of Diet Coke, you know. So I said to him, I said, well, what do you want? And he goes, I'll have one of, like, the bigger bags of Jolly Ranchers, bigger bag of Sour Patch Kids, and a bag of, what was the third one that he said? God, I can't even remember. But I ended up getting Noodles Company tonight, and he had already eaten because he warmed his stuff up. So when I was at Noodles Company, I said I decided just to come to Noodles instead. Do you want it? Noodles. I just used the word noodles. I say noodles like he knows, you know. I was like, do you want anything? And he was like, no. He goes, I just opened this ice cream and it hit the spot. And I said, when did we get ice cream? Like, I didn't even know that we had ice cream at the house. So, apparently, he said we had 2 tubs of ice cream. Not tubs, but, you know, like the little square things. Gallons of ice cream. Vanilla ice cream that he bought at some point. But then I was thinking, oh my God. My mom and I, back in the day, we would get... God, my nose is driving me crazy. We would... You know what it's like when back in the day... This hasn't bothered me in a long time. Do you know... when I would trim my beard, and then it would be hard for me to talk because it would, like, itch up against my nose? That's what it's doing tonight, which is so funny. I trimmed my beard today, and I haven't done that in a while. I mean, I haven't, like, had it itch that way in a while. Smoothie King, I love Smoothie King. But I don't think Smoothie King is as good as just the smaller smoothie places that open. Just, like, they're, you know, real small. Panera, overrated. So, anyway... I've now given you my red habanero. I love it. Now I've given you all of my 2 cents about United Artists Theaters. I wish they were opening again. My 2 cents about all the restaurants in Indianapolis, or all the fast food restaurants. When I was a kid, my mom and I either made milkshakes or we would make Tin Roof sundaes. Oh my God. She would bring out all the fixings. We would have, you know, but we always just used vanilla ice cream, which I think is funny. I think we might have, like, a couple times used, like, we didn't call it that moose track ice cream, but you know what I'm talking about? That's like chocolate, like fudge and vanilla, like blended. But it was called something else. First of all, my mother never spent money on stuff, okay? So she was as cheap as they came. So if you were getting vanilla ice cream, you were getting grocery store brand, Marsh brand, 99 cents for a gallon of vanilla ice cream. And then the can of Hershey's chocolate syrup, you know, that you would take and you would open it like a high C. Do you guys remember the high C cans back in the day, the big cans that you'd pour out juice? You know, you'd put the triangle in it. She would do that with the chocolate sauce that had been sitting in the refrigerator for 2 years. I always wanted that magic shell stuff, and she'd say it was too expensive. A couple times I think she let me get it for like a birthday or something like that. But she was always like, no, we don't need it, it's too expensive. And then every once in a while we would like have caramel sauce or butterscotch or whatever. And then we would, but yeah, we would make these. We would put Spanish peanuts. Do you guys remember those that you put on ice cream? Oh my God, and you would make like a Tin Roof sundae. My mom would sit there and she'd always say, my Tin Roof sundaes are the best. My favorite part was at the very end when it like had all melted and you would just like eat the melted part. I love that so much. I might have to make an ice cream sundae this weekend. I always say that in the summer I'm gonna make an ice cream sundae and then I never do. And then like August comes and I'm like the kid who just like missed Christmas. I'm like, all these things I wanted to do this summer that I never did. I'm enjoying this summer, damn it. I'm gonna have so much fun this summer. It's gonna be the summer of my dreams. It is, too. I rented these 2 movies when we came back from Florida. Nomadland is one of them. I think I got 6 days left or something like that to watch it, because the last time I looked, I had 13 days left. I rented it, I paid for it, I'm gonna watch the damn movie with Frances McDormand. Do y'all love her? I love her so much. Is it out of focus? I can't see. I love Frances McDormand so much. I think she won the Oscar for it. But the other one was a horror movie called The Farm or something like that. So I downloaded these movies. So I need to watch those in the next couple days, because if I don't, then I'll lose the rental, which is what happened with, did I tell you about what happened with Summer of '84? So Summer of '84, like I lost the rental because we came back and it had been like, once you start it, you only have so many days to watch it, you know? And I didn't finish it in that time. So, and it was really good. If you want a good summer scary movie, the Summer of '84 is really good. I mean, really good. And twisty and turny in a way that you wouldn't expect. And it's also kind of like a feel-good movie. Kind of like Stand By. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but kind of like, it's like a group of kids that like come together, you know, like a kind of like a Stand By Me or like Super 8. It reminds me kind of, it's got Super 8 vibes a little bit to it, but it's about a serial killer. So I had to re-rent the movie so that I could finish it. And I have like an hour left of it. So I finished that, and you know, a movie that I've been thinking a lot about since I saw it, I don't know why, but I think about it a lot, is that Shoplifters of the World Unite. That's about the day the Smiths broke up. Well, I just saw one of my friends the other day post something on Facebook, and he was like, something about Morrissey. And he was like, he's my favorite singer of all time, but like Morrissey's like, well, he's kind of made a lot of problematic statements in the last year or two. Who did I see a picture of today? And I was like, oh, Johnny Knoxville. That BAM guy came out and said that he wasn't allowed to be in Jackass 4 or something if he didn't go to treatment. I can't remember what the story was that I saw, but I saw a picture of Johnny Knoxville, and I was like, damn, Johnny Knoxville, who is sober today. I was like, we all age, don't we? Like, it's weird when, I mean, I could see him in my head. I always thought he was real cute. He's got like white hair and stuff now. Is it he that's sober? One of those guys from Jackass is sober. I can't remember which one it is. Anyway, I think I read that somewhere. Just said Ruoff Music Center, which when I was growing up was Deer Creek, which has changed like 15 times. But like in Indianapolis, like if you go back and you listen to the Dead shows, they still call them like the Deer Creek shows. And like the live Dave Matthews Band, they still call them the Deer Creek shows and stuff like that. But now it's not Deer Creek anymore. It's the Ruoff. It changed. I swear to God, it's been rebought like every 2 years. I don't remember what it was before, but I actually graduated from high school. My high school graduation was there. But like 2 years ago, this Ruoff, whoever that is, they bought it, and it's now called the Ruoff Music Center. I always think of that couple that was on Little People, Big World. Do you know what I'm talking about? Are they still around? I stopped watching that show because they went and got divorced and they ended up hating each other so much. And it was so miserable to watch. It made me so sad. I can remember back in the day, I watched that show, Little People, Big World. I loved that show so much. I thought they were such a happy family. And they were always out there on that, you know, pumpkin farm, and they were always doing stuff, and their kids seemed so happy, and I just loved that show so much. And then they went through a divorce, and he just became a total ass, and she was bitter all the time, but they still lived on the same property, and I'm like, this show is sad to me. I'm not watching this anymore. It's like when those reality shows, they go from like, being like, it's when reality takes over reality. It's like they become super sad, you know? It's like, I don't want to watch this. Like, this isn't fun to watch. People are fighting all the time and stuff like that. Who wants to see that? Nobody. Who wants to see that? Nobody. Listen to me. Well, we've come to the end of the podcast. Somebody said to me today, they said, you know what you should do? And I said, what? And they said, you should start a podcast where you talk for like an hour a couple times a week, just about really random stuff. I was like, yeah, I've got a vlog, and it's basically the same thing. They're like, have you ever thought about changing your vlog to your podcast? I'm like, if I ever did anything like I got rid of one of my channels, I mean, I would love to tell everybody that I'm going to drive around in my car for the next 20 years, but the reality is it's probably not the case. But I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I plan on sticking around for the next couple years, obviously. But if I was going to transition any channel to doing something else, I think what I would think about doing is taking this and making this a podcast where it was like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday or something like that. But I'm not even thinking about doing that yet. I really would like to do a podcast. But if I was right now, every day, being able to post 6 videos on all of my different channels, then I would think about adding something to it. But I can't even do that right now. To me to have a day where I post videos on every single channel is like a big day for me. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I got a lot accomplished today, you know? So, but I think it's okay to give some of the channels breaks, you know, in between. Like, I've noticed, like, if I post a video on such and such channel, it's like not everybody watches except for like over 3 days or whatever. So it's a lot of videos out there for people to catch up with and watch, especially when I post them like boom, 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 you know. So I don't know. We'll see. I like posting a lot. I think people don't understand that, like, when they'll come to me and they'll say, well, if you didn't have 6 channels, you would get more views on each of your channels. And I'm like, okay, but you're thinking about it from the perspective of a YouTuber that wants to get all these views. I don't do it for that point of view. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to have views. I mean, views, I think, equal people watching, and I've always said that that's what we want, right? But for me, the 6 different channels are because these are 6 different topics that I'm fascinated with. So me making videos on all of these 6 different channels allows me to do something that makes me happy. I think people get it the other way around. They think like that I'm doing it to try to like capture all these views, and like I'm thinking about it wrong, you know? And I'm like, I don't think you get it. Like, I'm not doing it for that. You know what I mean? It's like, I think people think of it like, well, if you just had one candy store on the corner, you would monopolize the whole corner. And I'm like, okay, but I want 6 candy stores because each candy store has something different in it for me. And then I get to go, you know, to 6 different candy stores. So that's why I do it. And it is fun, you know? And some days I'm like, I really want to talk about this on this channel. And other days I'm just like, oh, okay, you know, we'll talk about this and whatever. So it's fun for me to have different, you know, areas and topics to go talk about. All right, you guys. Well, listen, I'm gonna get off here now. So I hope. Where am I at? Is it almost at the very end? Oh, it is. Okay. So I hope that you're having. It's almost at 30 minutes. So it's gonna stop here in just 32 seconds. So anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing. What is tomorrow? Wednesday. Oh my God, you made it halfway through the week. Congratulations. I hope you're having an amazing Wednesday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Be kind to one another. Be kind to one another. Be compassionate to one another. Put love out there. Always lead with love, like it says in the 4 agreements. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!